It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Ariel Helwani.
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour back in your life on this Thursday, November 9, 2017. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani back inside our New York City studio. If you were paying attention very closely this past Monday, I hinted that we may be talking one more time this week before, of course, next Monday's show. And I hinted that we'd have something potentially very special for you. And I know a lot of fans were looking forward to potentially hearing from the new UFC middleweight champion, Georges St Pierre, on Monday's show. You have come to expect the biggest guests on Monday. And that was the plan. But then we were told that there was a chance Mr. St. Pierre could join us in studio, face-to-face, mano-a-mano. I have not talked to him face-to-face, mano-a-mano, since 2013, since prior to UFC 167. So I took that opportunity, and here we are, my friends, in a matter of moments, on this very special Thursday edition of the MMA Hour. We will be sitting down with the one and only Georges St Pierre. He will be in studio talking to us face-to-face, one of his first interviews, if not his first interview. I'm going to claim it's his first interview since becoming the UFC middleweight champion just a couple of days ago. Of course, you know by now, at Madison Square Garden, Saturday night, November 4th, one of the greatest nights in the history of our sport. Georges St Pierre defeated Michael Bisping to become the UFC middleweight champion, and in doing so, he is now just the fourth fighter in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship to be a champion in two different weight classes. Randy Couture, BJ Penn, Conor McGregor, and now Georges St Pierre can add his name to that list. And it was a 4-year layoff. He returned for the first time since 2013, submitting Michael Bisping, which is no easy task in the third round. What a performance it was. I cannot wait to speak to him in a matter of seconds. Also, after Georges St Pierre will be joined in studio by one of the rising stars in the UFC's middleweight division, the one and only Paulo the Eraser Costa. Borrachinha will be joining us in studio after GSP. How great is this? And if you're looking for the MMA beat, after all of that, two beatniks, two panelists, Jeff Wagenheim and Danny Segura will join us to recap an amazing week in the sport. There's a lot of news that happened yesterday. There's so much to discuss. So there is something for everyone on this special Thursday edition of the show. But let us not waste any time. Let us welcome in right now to the studio for the first time the pride of Saint Isidore, the pride of Montreal, the pride of Canada, the one and only Georges St Pierre. Let me stand up for George. Wow. Unbelievable. What an honor, George.
Thank you for having me here.
This is amazing. This is an unbelievable honor. Thank you so much for coming. You look fantastic.
I'm trying. It's a PR day, so I had to dress up a little bit.
You doing a lot of PR today?
Yeah, it's a lot of interviews and talk shows and stuff like that.
You were in New York, obviously, for the fight. Then you went home to Montreal, and now you're back?
Exactly.
You didn't just stay?
It's only an hour away,
right.
So I felt the need to go back to my family, my friends, and yeah, so I did it.
This is amazing. I can't believe that. You know, I haven't talked to you face-to-face. We've spoken on the phone a lot, but face-to-face since 2013. So it's great to see you in the flesh. What do you think of my studio? You like it here?
Fantastic. I like the decoration.
You recognize this guy over there?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that picture?
I remember it very well. It was not the same guy that is standing in front of you right now.
You hate
I mean,
that
it's
picture?
The same guy, but he's not in the same state of mind.
Exactly. Do you not like that picture? Does it make you feel weird? Like, does it bring back bad memories?
It bring back bad memory because it was not an happy moment of my life.
Right.
Now things have changed a lot since then, and I'm in a much happier place right now.
You were coming off a win. That's the picture right after the Johnny Hendricks fight.
It was a win, but I was winning fights back in the day, like Nick Diaz, Hendricks, but I was not happy. I was like, it was not like it is right now.
That guy right there, in your mind, did you think you were done? Did you think you would never fight again? I'm finished with this. I'm tired of this. It's over?
I didn't know at the time. But things has changed.
Right.
And because of the things has changed, it made me want it to come back.
Okay. Like what?
A lot of things. Of course, the problem with the performance enhancing drug in the sport. A lot of the stuff in my life, the infrastructure of my life was very complicated back then.
What do you mean by that, infrastructure?
I built up a gym to do my private training session.
Okay.
I didn't have that before. I didn't have access to a private facility before, so I had to make my schedule around the gym, and it's normal because the gym is there to make money for their members, and Now I really organize my life in a way that we're very much well suited for me.
Okay. How many times have you watched the fight on Saturday?
With Bisping, a few times. And I'm going to tell you why, because I wanted to watch it for my personal critics, but also because I get, after the fight, I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
People don't know that. I was not at the press conference. And I'm going to tell you why. I had a very, very bad injury in the back of my head.
Oh.
And I didn't know where it came from.
Okay.
And while I rewatched the fight, and I think it's I'm not sure 100%, but I think it happened in the first round when I had my first takedown.
Okay.
And I was holding Michael Bisping's legs. He elbowed me, but the elbow hit me right in a particular spot where it's the basal region of the back of the head. That's where there is a little bone that attached to the spinal cord. And that's why after the fight, I couldn't even tie up my shoes. You know, my neck couldn't even move. I had an incredible swelling in one of my in the muscle of the back of my neck. And during the fight, when I was on the ground, it was very hard for me to posture up to strike because I couldn't even do that. And even now, if you look at me, like my head goes good this way, but this way I'm restricted a little bit. It's a lot better than it was. But it was very painful.
So that's the reason why you went to the hospital?
Yes, I went to the hospital because when he hit me, I kind of saw blurry a little bit. I don't know if I had a concussion or something, you know, it might have been a concussion. And when I keep fighting, because when it happened, obviously the survival instincts kicks in. But when you watch the fight and that particular thing, it looked pretty insignificant. But it wasn't insignificant when I received the shot. It hurt me very bad. It's not the force of the blow. It's more the precision of it. It's not Michael's fault. You know, you're in the heat of the moment. You fight. I would probably have done the same thing. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it happened, and I wanted to know where it came from.
You are very cerebral, like the way you break things down. I think that you are one of, if not the smartest fighters in the history of the sport. You don't get enough credit for that, for your fight IQ. And so I'm wondering, when you watch that fight, when you watch yourself, the way that you break yourself down, are you happy with that GSP? Are you happy with that performance?
I'm happy, but I could have done better.
Really?
You know? Like I could have done worse also.
Sure.
Yeah, so the way I break that fight down, it's we were expecting Michael Bisping to try to bully me, to come hard straight from the beginning and use a sprawl and brawl tactic, so to speak. And he didn't do that. He used a lot of movement, which caught me off guard. The first round, I was feeling very good because he was holding more his ground, you know, like he was moving, but he was holding more his ground. So I was able to exchange with him going in and out. But he made a very good adjustment in the second round. That's when people start saying I was getting tired and stuff. It's not because I was getting tired that much. It's because he was making me miss a lot. And he was countering me. Because in the first round, my overhand right was working very well because I was countering his jab with the overhand right. And he was holding his ground more, so the takedown came easier, you know, without spending as much energy. But in the second round, his coach probably said to him to move more, and I was not prepared for that kind of fighting style. We didn't train for that. All my sparring partners, that were a guy that were trying to take me out, you know, and they were coming straight at me, and it caught me a little bit off guard. So going back and losing the second round, I came back in the corner and I had to readjust myself coming for the third round. So Freddie Roach told me, he says, now he's countering your overhand because he knows you're going over his jab. He's countering your overhand by going with a straight right hand. And I got clipped a couple of times. So he said, now what you're going to do is throw your right hand and come over the top with a left hook. And that's how I knock him down with a counter to his right hand coming with the left hook. And that's how I got him. And I know that once I got him down, I tried to finish him with strike. But at one point, I knew that if I would have only tried to finish him with strike, I would empty my gas tank. So I know by studying tape that Michael Bisping liked to stand up by going belly down on 4 point and stand up from there. So what I did is I gave him a little bit of space. Instead of trying to hold on to him like I did previously and wasting my energy because he's a bigger man, I give him a little bit I strike him, and I see I couldn't take him out with a strike because he was recuperating very well and defending himself well. So I give him a little bit of space for him to turn belly down and try to stand up. While he did that, he had a split second that he exposed his back, and I sank the rear naked choke.
It's like you're reliving it right now. The detail that you recall everything is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when you fight a bigger man, you can't go like this. You know? You have to use different tactic. And in the past, I had a lot of critic for not finishing the fight, and I wanted to finish so much that sometimes I was trying to force things. And I think I truly believe in mixed martial art. If you try to force things, it just doesn't work. You know, there's a old saying that it goes like this: say, if you try to knock the guy out, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have to let it come.
Sure.
And I was not trying to knock him out. You know, I was just trying to hit him and be accurate and fast. And when the left hook come, boom, I knock him down. I was surprised, just as much, like I was like, oh my God. And that's how it come. You know, it's always like that. When I knock out Matt Hughes with a leg kick, same thing. Jay Heron, it happened just suddenly without any warning, you know, and that's how it should be. Towards the end of my previous run, I was trying too much. And when you try too much to force things, it doesn't happen as much. It doesn't happen as it's not as good.
The consensus seems to be that you did gas out, that you got tired. You're saying you didn't get tired?
I got tired, of course, because I tried to finish the fight with strike.
But in the second round?
In the second round, what happened is at one point I knew that something was wrong. Because he changed his tactic.
Yeah.
He started moving a lot, and he was making me miss. And when I missed, he was countering me very well. So I was thinking, I was like, I'm not gonna try to follow him as much. I'm gonna let him a little bit run instead of trying to stay on him all the time, because it's not working. So maybe it was like seen as maybe how do you say in English, the best the regime, you know, like low, like
your energy went down,
slowing down. I knew I was losing the round, and it was only the second round. I knew I won the first round, and I knew that if I tried to overcommit too much, he's a bigger man, obviously, with the extra weight. If he clipped me good, it would be very dangerous. So I said, you know what, maybe I give him the round, and I will recuperate for the next one.
What was it like being, I mean, it's unprecedented what you did coming back after 4 years. We hear about ring rust a lot, octagon rust. Did you feel the same, or did you feel initially like, oh, this is a little foreign to me?
Place where I felt a little bit ring rust was on the ground.
Okay.
And the reason is this. All the other situations, striking and everything, and in the middle, even the grappling, it was good. But the striking from the bottom was, I felt a little bit ring rust because I didn't really practice it. There is no way you can practice ground and pound in practice. You know, you cannot practice yourself getting elbowed in the face. Because in practice, if you do that, you cut yourself, you're out for the fight.
Right.
So I felt a little bit of ring rust in that particular area. Of course, you know. Also, I try sometimes to load up too much that overhand right over his jab. That's a little bit a sign of ring rust, you know. But all the fight, all the place in the fight, all the thing in the fight that I do in practice, I was not so bad. It's just I would say the ground and pound and from the bottom, I was a little bit ring rust because I haven't done it for so long. You know, I've been grappling with the elbow strike, pushing the head and stuff like that. I haven't done that for a long time, so I should have. My coach Jean Danauer told me to practice it more, and I kind of not ignore him, but I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. I don't really need this, but I should have listened to him and done it more, because it's very important when you're on top. You have to control the inside and control the hand so you don't get elbowed and and you don't end up having scar like I do. So it was a mistake on my part.
What do you prefer, fighting at 170 or 185? Like with that extra weight, how did you feel in there?
That's another thing. It's been 6 months. I was shoving food down my throat. People didn't know what really happened. I was forcing myself to eat like crazy, like 5-6 times a day.
Gosh.
And I was eating on a particular specific diet, you know, to gain extra muscle mass. What happened is I was walking around about 197, 198 pounds. And when I came to New York to make the weight, I was at 185. I made the weight at 185. It's like my body refuses to go back up where it was before. It went back to 191 pound. like the muscle memory of my body, maybe, so to speak, went back to not my old weight, because 191 is still bigger than what I was before, but I didn't came back up all the
After
way.
the weigh-ins?
Yes. The night of the fight, I was 192.
Wow.
I was not 198 where I wanted to be.
Wow. Your
And
body
I
just kind of shut off.
Yeah, and the morning of the fight, I tried to force myself to eat, to put it all back, and I threw up my breakfast.
Really?
Yes, I went back in my room and I threw up my breakfast, and I called my nutrition coach. I said, man, I threw up my breakfast. He said, it's not so bad. You know, it's the importance is your hydration, your electrolyte. We're going to make sure you're well hydrated. I said, yeah, but I'm not very hungry. It's like my body was shutting down.
Wow.
I couldn't recover. It's the first time I've done this in my life, so maybe we did some mistake. But the importance is that I felt good. And even when I was trying to put on some weight during the weeks before the fight, I was, especially in breakfast, I was forcing myself to eat my 4 eggs, you know, because I have a quantity of eggs to eat. And even sometimes after 2 eggs, I was like having like reflux, you know, like I was chewing up my breakfast. And this happened like pretty much almost every morning. I felt like I had to chew up, but I forced myself. I was like,
wow.
And then try to eat it, and it was very hard. It's not very healthy to eat like this. So now what I do is I'm fasting now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been
Nothing?
I do 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. I'll do that for 1 or 2 weeks because I need to clean up my intestine. I had like very severe cramp during my training camp, and it was very hard. You know, I couldn't sleep some night. I was having cramp.
Wow.
I like because of the stress probably and all that. And it's not an healthy way, you know. When you try to feed yourself like crazy and force it, it's not natural. And I did it because I wanted to gain weight,
Sure.
and I needed to put the muscle mass to be able to fight a bigger man.
How much you weigh right now?
About 190, 92 maybe.
So obviously, I was going to ask you at some point what's next, but you shouldn't fight at middleweight if you feel that way. Why would you ever do that against yourself?
It's in my contract. I have to fight Robert Whittaker, but you know, it didn't go that bad. If you look at my fight, you know, it's you know, I was smaller, but I was faster. I was, you know, I felt more athletic. I felt, you know, I had an advantage in certain area, but maybe on a size and a weight department, I was not in my advantage.
But if you're feeling that bad going into the fight, the cramps and throwing up and forcing yourself, that's not very enjoyable, is it?
Well, I threw up my breakfast, but then after my nutrition coach, Jean-François, he says to me, look, don't force yourself, eat. The importance is that you're well hydrated, so just go as you feel. And I went like this, and I felt good. It's just that I tried to put too much weight. That's my problem. Is I wanted to mentally to be big, but the important is not to be big, is to be fit and well hydrated.
You were very honest.
It's the first time I've done it, Ariel. So maybe I made a mistake. You know, maybe it's my fault too. You know, so we learn from it, right?
One of the fascinating things going into the fight was how honest you were. In particular, there was a documentary that aired on TSN called "The Mind of GSP," and you said how much you are afraid at times to lose and to fight, and you don't particularly enjoy fighting. These are things that go on in your mind.
I hate it.
Yeah, you hate it. You hate fighting.
Yes, I hate it.
Why do it? Why come back to it if you hate it?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. Then people, they all only see the good, the positive, the big picture. They don't see the big picture. I mean, they see me now happy. The good thing about fighting, the lifestyle I have, I love the lifestyle that I have. Like, it give me the freedom. I can train. I have a martial artist life. Like I live like a samurai. You know, every day I try to reach perfection. I try to be the perfect fighting machine. Even though perfection is not perfect, but I will try to be as much as I can, as much as I can obtain to be. It allowed me to have the freedom to do whatever I want. So if I work hard, I will have good result. You know, you're a result of the symbol of your work, and that's what I love about it. You know, and I have no boss. I do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. And there's no perfect job. The only bad thing about my job is sometimes I need to fight. You know, I need to go and fight, and fighting is fun. But the week of the fight, the uncertainty of fighting, the fear of being humiliated, because we do a crazy job. You know, there's 2 guys that get into a cage. There's only 1 guy gonna be reward of victory.
Yeah.
The other guy that will lose will do all that for nothing.
Right.
You know, and the odds are relatively 50-50, right? So it's always the fear of being humiliated, of losing, the fear of that I've done all this crazy sacrifice for nothing. And this is crazy. This is almost unbearable. You know, the week leading up to the fight, you're very stressed. It's unbelievable. And I don't like that part of my work. I hate it. Especially, it's mostly the waiting part. You know, I love fighting when I'm in the gym and I train with the guy. I love exchanging knowledge. I love training. But when I'm fighting, the pressure of it, it's crazy. It's unbearable. I hate it. But if I pass that, if I go through this, it will allow me to have the lifestyle that I love to have. You know, my freedom, my lifestyle to train like a samurai, to be able to be train like a martial artist, to pursue the great thing in my career. So there's no perfect job. I'm sure there's things about your job that you dislike.
Right.
But you like I like my job more. There's more positive thing about my job than negative. So that's why I'm doing it.
So what was it like in the locker room on Saturday in the hours before the fight? Was it worse than normal?
That was crazy. First,
how nervous were you?
Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. So before I left for the medicine square garden, I have my last meal.
Okay.
I'm eating, and I hear the guy speaking. Like in my crew, in my team, there's most people that speak English, but there's people that speak French, right? Because I'm from French francophone background. So I hear them speak. Don't tell George. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
So I go at the table, and I'm eating. I'm like, is Amen one? Amen is a training partner of mine.
Hobby.
And they're like, everybody's looking. It's like, no, he got knocked out. I'm like, shoot. It's like, is he okay? They're like, I don't know. I think so. I'm like, man, that must be very bad.
Yeah.
So I finish eating, and I'm like, damn, one of my training partners lost. Unfortunately, I feel very sad for him. So then I go in my locker room, and then my other training partner who's in my locker room, Joseph Duffy, fight. And he's doing well, but he got clipped with an uppercut. He got knocked out again. I'm like, oh my God. Then there's another guy in my locker room, Mickey Gall. He lose too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm start thinking, is it a freaking curse in my locker room? You know, because sometimes before a fight you become a little bit how do you say, like like these things, like they
superstitious.
You know, like, man, I'm in a bad locker room. I have a cursed locker room. Everybody's losing. So I'm thinking, I was like, no way. It's like, not me. Me, I'm gonna put everything back on track. It's like, I'm not losing this. And I tried to convince myself, no way, I'm gonna do this. So then we're warming up for the fight, and now I'm with my trainer. We're thinking, I was like, okay, now there's the two ladies are fighting.
Yeah.
Normally ladies, like, not all the time, but there's less percentage of knockout and finishes in ladies than men sometimes, because the power the woman is normal, is different. So I'm thinking, like, it's gonna be a 5 round, and then the other guy TJ and Cody is gonna be a 5 round too. So I'm gonna have good time for warm up. So I set my warm up to have good time for warm up, like at least a good 40 minutes. Then the fight started. Bang! Rose knockout Joanna. I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's go. Then I finish wrapping my hand. I go crazy. I start warming up. And then after TJ, boom, knockout Cody. I'm like, oh my God. I'm freaking out. Try to accelerate my warm-up. Then they called me out. Everything from there went very fast.
Okay. Was it weird not wearing the gi to the cage? It looked weird for us who were watching you.
Yeah, it was weird because I have a kind of a ritual that I do normally before the fight. I put my gi in front of the mirror with my bandana, and I'm talking to myself.
What are you saying?
I'm talking to myself in the mirror, trying to convince myself. This is like a routine I do. Nobody knows this. I'm telling myself. I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm telling myself. I said, you're the best. Tonight is gonna be your night. You're gonna win. You're gonna win this because you're better than him. Try to pump me up with some negative, positive stuff. You know, even though I'm scared as hell. You know, and I have doubt in my mind. I try to make myself positive and pump me up. Try to make me believe that it's impossible for me to fail, you know. And then I'm walking in. And then when I get out of the locker room, that's when normally the walkout start.
Yeah.
You know. And I always do the same thing. So I know that the UFC guys come to pick me up in the locker room. So I always time it in a way that when they come to pick me up in the locker room, that's when I go I go piss one more time. And then I put my cup because you don't want to put your cup before because you have to, it's a tie cup. You have to attach everything. Then I put my cup, then I put my pants, then I put my gi. But now I didn't have my gi. So what I did is they say, Georges St Pierre, 2 minutes. I said, okay. And I went to the bathroom. Then I put my cup. Then I look myself in front of the mirror and I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a story tonight. I'm scared, but I try to convince myself. And then I take the walk and I do my thing. That's how I did.
So you just said, I'm going to make history tonight. I'm the best, this and that. This is the discussion now afterwards. You're now just the fourth man to hold the belt in 2 different weight classes. You come back after a 4-year layoff. You didn't lose the welterweight title. Can you tell me definitively, do you believe that you're the greatest of all time now? Did you put an exclamation point? You've never tested positive, no PEDs, right?
It's a good question, but I'm going to tell you something, Ariel, and I'm going to be very humble in my answer, and I'm going to tell you what I truly believe is the truth. That's the truth about fighting. And when I started fighting when I was young, I remember I was young and a little bit different up here, I wanted to become the best fighter because I wanted to be the strongest man in the world. As life goes on, it taught me different. There is no such thing as the strongest man in the world. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the greatest. You can be the best, but you can lose. For example, you can have the best football team, the best soccer team or baseball team. It's the best team, but it would lose to a team who's not as good that night because that particular night they didn't play the best game. So the important in this sport is not to be the best fighter. And there's one thing that I'm very good at. I'm very good to be good when it counts. That's one of my best quality as a entertainer, as a performer. You can call it a fighter, an entertainer. I'm very, very good to turn it on when it's time to turn it on. That's one of my best quality. There's a lot of guys who are very good, but when it's time to pull the trigger, they can't do it. They're freezing, or mentally they have issue. They have this. Me, I'm very good to be good when it counts. And if you talk about the fight with Michael Bisping, last Saturday, I fought Michael Bisping in a fight. I won. At that particular time, that particular place, I was the best man that night. It doesn't mean that if I fight Michael Bisping tomorrow, that I will still have my hand raised. Maybe he will beat me next time. There is odds, as always. Maybe 9 times out of 10 I will beat him, or maybe 50% of the time, or I don't know. We make up our own odds in our head. I'm confident as a fighter when I'm going to a fight that I'm the best. But for me, it's not important. It's important for me that at that particular time, I fight the best fight that I can fight. That's what I focus on. I'm not focusing on, trying to convince myself I'm the best, because it's irrelevant. The best team, the best fighter can lose sometimes.
Okay.
There's no such thing as invincible person. Everybody can beat everybody at any given day. And I've learned that in my career against Matt Serra. I've learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes separates a good fighter than a bad fighter, is if he pull the trigger when it counts. Can he perform under the light when time comes to perform? That's what makes difference.
Michael Bisping isn't the first fighter to accuse you of taking steroids, but he got very personal going into this fight. Do you feel like he crossed the line, and was it personal? Did you want to prove to this guy that, okay, you've said a lot, I'm going to shut you up? Did it ever feel, because you did a good job of really not saying much. You never took the bait.
Yeah.
He accused you of a lot.
My position against performance enhancing drug is everybody knows.
Yeah, well documented.
And I don't believe he even believed it himself that I take steroid, or that I took steroid. I never took anything in my life. I never took steroid in my entire life, And the thing that people don't understand is I'm not against steroid. Be careful. Now I'm gonna say something. I'm against steroid because in our sport we sign an agreement that we agree to perform without biological weapon.
Yeah.
We agree upon that.
Yeah.
But if you're, for example, an actor, you're an actor in Hollywood and you have a role that will give you millions of dollars, and you need to gain, I don't know, 50 pounds in 1 month. Maybe you have no choice to take steroid. I tried to gain to gain weight, muscle mass in 6 months. You see what I did? It messed me up a little bit, my body, you know. It was very hard, but I had to do it because that's the way I signed up for, you know. Or if you're sick, if you have an incurable disease and you need to take some steroid to feel better, or if you're old and your testosterone go down and health-wise you need to do it. It's okay. I'm not against it, but for a sport, for performance, I am against it because we sign up an agreement saying that we're not going to use any extra illegal weapon. That's why I'm against it in our sport. But if it's for a well-being, for a other kind of situation, I don't mind. It's medicine. It could be medicinally helpful for certain people.
Speaking of agreement, you said just a couple minutes ago, in my contract, it says I have to fight Robert Whittaker. You mentioned this before the fight as well.
Yes.
But when you were asked by Joe Rogan in the cage and even today, like, you don't say, I am going to fight Robert Whittaker. You say it's in your contract. The middleweight division doesn't believe that you are going to fight Robert Whittaker. They think that you're either going to leave, drop the title, do something. Tell us, can you break some news?
The middleweight division did not believe I was going to fight Michael Bisping either.
Okay.
And I did, and I win, and I win in a good fashion.
Can you say definitively that you will fight Robert Whittaker next year?
It's a lot of things. I can't say because it's a lot of force now.
What do you mean by force?
There's a lot of different things that can change. Mixed martial art is a sport that change all the time, and like I said, I wanted to come back to make history, to do something that never been done before. I know it's in my contract, but you never know. Dana can come back with some proposition or whatever. I don't know what.
You want to fight him? Does this get you excited?
It's written in my contract. If it gets me excited, I don't know. Like, I mean, he's an excellent fighter, and he was in Montreal before, and he's an incredible martial artist.
He has a lot of respect for you.
He's a great champion.
Yeah.
I have only positive thing to say about Robert Whittaker.
But you're not going to go to Australia to fight this guy, right?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Look, I just finished a very hard fight.
Sure.
I'm still bruised up a little bit. My neck, I still feel. I need some vacation. I'm going to go on vacation, clear up my
Where are we going?
See what.
Can I come?
I'm going to go somewhere exotic.
Where no one knows.
With the beach and sand where nobody knows.
You
exactly.
deserve it.
Run away from this whole circus of mixed martial art.
I don't blame you. Is there any chance this is your last fight? Is there any chance, or can you say definitively you will fight again?
I don't know. I'm very happy now. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm very happy. You know, like I wanted to take one fight at a time, solve one problem at a time, and from there take a decision. You know, and I did this. I think it was good for the UFC. They made a lot of money, and it was good for me as well. It was good for Michael Bisping.
Yep.
Michael Bisping is someone that I really admire. He's incredibly brave, and he's a true example of determination in the sport. You know, like he's the man. Like he went very far. You know, he's incredible, and I was very honored fighting Michael Bisping because of his mind. He was very outspoken about like performance-enhancing drug. He said a lot of things about me. I don't take it personal. I truly believe that he said it to make the fight more exciting. Actually, I should have said thank you to him because we sell a lot of pay-per-views.
Yes. So so you can't say for sure though that you will fight again right now.
I can't say for sure anything. I don't know anything.
Do you want to fight Conor McGregor? This is the fight. Everyone comes up to me this week. I want to see George fight Conor. Does this interest you at all?
Why you bringing it on? Everybody is asking me this question. Tell me, you're not the only one. It's like I always ask. I say, why is everybody is asking me this question? You know, like because he's competing in different weight classes than I am.
Maybe meet at 170 because he's fought at 170. He said a lot about you as well.
I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna, you know, as a fighter, I don't challenge guys that compete in smaller weight class division. I think it make you look bad, you know. Like I don't want to do this, and I'm very happy for Conor. He raised the bar for all of us. You know what he's been doing. He raised the bar for all the fighter, you know, and he does it for himself, but he does it for all of us at the same time. Even if maybe he doesn't realize it, he does it for everybody, and I think it's good for the sport, it's good for the fighter, good for everybody.
When do you think you'll decide what you'll do next?
I'll take a few weeks, and then I'll decide. I have no desire to hold on the title. and freeze the division.
Okay.
That's not what I want.
So there is a chance you might say goodbye to the division and the title as well. That's
There's
possible.
a chance that I will fight Robert Whittaker too. I don't know right now.
You really don't know.
But yeah, nice try. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
It's like a fight, George. You know, it's like a fight.
I'm bob and weave now. Bob and weave. I do not know.
Okay.
I don't like to say things like I do not know. And Dana is the boss. We'll see what's gonna happen. And I just need some vacation now. That's when I burned out last time because I was like try to think too much ahead of time. And sometimes when you try to think about ahead of time things that you're thinking about, you're wasting your energy because they don't even happen.
Right. Two last very quick things because I know you have to go. And by the way, I'd love to see you at Le Stade Olympique in Montreal. Imagine that, 70,000 people watching you fight. Montreal deserves that. It would be amazing. Two last things. You know, Tim Kennedy tweeted when you won, hey, the MMA now has 2 champions on its board, TJ Dillashaw, Georges St Pierre. Now that you're champion, will you try to make changes in the sport now that you have that power?
We try to recruit a lot of people, and we do that not to create problems for UFC.
Sure.
We want to elevate,
make it better.
Yes, to make it better. This will happen if it's not today or tomorrow or in 6 months or in a few years. It will happen at one time. If you want the sport to grow, it will happen. It's just there's a lot of force now in trying to pulling fighters in different direction, you know, like, ultimately what we all want the same thing. We want to have a better fighting, better condition and better salary. And I think it's fair. It need to be fair for everybody.
Okay. 4 years later, you happier?
Yes, you should change the picture and take a good one now.
With the belt.
Yes, exactly.
And I saw you go to the YMHA in Montreal and give it to your coach over there, a place that I used to hang out as a kid all the time. That was beautiful, giving your coach the belt.
I gave every single of my belt to, except one belt I kept for myself in my house, but every belt that I gained, I gave it to someone that helped me down the line. Because the belt for me, it's not really what is important. What is important is the souvenir that I keep of that memorable night.
Sure.
A belt, I can lose it. Someone can rub it to me. But this memory that I have, this moment, it's mine. And even though sometimes in life you have a hard time with something, I can always close my eyes and remember that moment, and it will give me a smile. And this is something that nobody will ever be able to take it away from me. And so my last belt, I gave it to Victor Zimmerman, who's my wrestling coach. And I think it's the first time I saw him smile in my life. He was very happy, and I've been training under him for more than 15 years. He's a very hard coach, but I think he was hard with me and all the guys because he wanted to make the best out of me to come out, and I'm very thankful to him for this.
George, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, my friend. Really, you are an inspiration.
Thank you very much.
You are a role model for Canadians. Canada was so happy to see you back. It's an amazing thing. You know how highly I think of you. So it was really nice to see you come back after all this time and perform like you did and win and smile and do it your way. So congratulations. Félicitations.
Thanks to you, Ariel. You always be very kind with me, and man, you're the best at what you do. Thank you.
I remember UFC 65. I went to a bar in Montreal, Champ Sports Bar, to watch you beat Matt Hughes before I was ever a journalist, and the place erupted. And it was that moment where I said, I want to be an MMA journalist, because one of our own, a Montrealer, was doing what you were doing. And so it was an inspiration for me. So congratulations. Enjoy it. You're going to the New York Stock Exchange now, so enjoy that as well.
I got a lot of stuff going on.
Thank you, George. I'll stand up here. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
The one and only Georges St Pierre. And we'll talk to you soon, okay? Keep us posted.
There
he is, the UFC middleweight champion. What a beautiful moment. What an honor. What a privilege to have him in studio. Can't thank him enough for stopping by. He is, in my opinion, the greatest of all time. He did what so many thought he could not do on Saturday night. He is now the UFC middleweight champion. And like I said, he is one of just 4 fighters in UFC history to hold a belt in 2 different weight classes. Amazing. Randy Couture, BJ Penn, Conor McGregor, and now Georges St Pierre. What a great moment. And honestly, I mean, to have this is not just MMA royalty, my friends. This is Canadian royalty. The Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, tweeted about this man, congratulating him. at Canada the Twitter feed tweeted congratulations to him. This is not just another fighter. You see what he means to Canadians. You see what he means to the sport. You see how fighters react to him. Paulo Costa coming in a matter of moments, asked to take a photo with him. This man is revered, is idolized by everyone, and certainly fighters. He has played a big part in the evolution of the sport. One of the first to wear a suit to press conferences, to, hold himself, present himself with class and dignity. Just, what more can you say? So we'll see what happens. Non-committal. We'll see where he goes from here. We'll see if he fights again. We'll see if Robert Whittaker gets that fight. It's going to be an interesting story to follow. So we do need to update that photo, because that does represent, maybe it's a great photo taken by Esterlin, but maybe we need to update it with the photo from Saturday night, him winning the middleweight title. All right. How much fun was that? That was amazing, but we do have plenty more show for all of you. I am very excited about this. We speak about the middleweight division. Georges St Pierre is obviously the king right now at 185, but there is a man named Paulo Costa, a.k.a. the Eraser, a.k.a. Borrachinha, who is a budding superstar, who is the future, in my opinion, a name that we will be talking about for a very long time. And now he is going to join us in studio. How great is this? You talk about a legend, Georges St Pierre. Now we bring a future legend, a Brazilian legend. Please come on in. There he is, Paulo Costa, maybe the most
nice to meet
good-looking man I've ever seen in my life. How about this? Amazing. And Eric Albarracin, his almost like his spiritual advisor, his wrestling coach, his right-hand man. Eric, it's so great. You flew in from Phoenix overnight to be here in studio, so thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paulo, as well. I mean, wow. You're here in studio, and you just fought on Saturday. Why are you still in New York, by the way? Why didn't you not go back home to Brazil?
Yes, I'm here to know the city, in vacations. Is the simple. Is vacation with my girlfriend here to walk for the Statue of Liberty and know some place here.
First time in New York?
Yes, first time.
You like it?
So much.
It's amazing, right?
Amazing. It's a wonderful city, and I love the city.
By the way, did you have a chance to say hello to GSP?
Yes. I saw he there, and he's a very nice guy. And
did you watch him when you were younger? Did you know who he was? Was he a role model for you?
Ele era ídolo para você quando você era mais jovem?
Of course. GSP, I grew up watching GSP in TV, so this is very important for me. Shake his hand and talking about the fights, about the martial arts with him.
Was Saturday night, so you beat Johnny Hendricks Saturday night at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world, one of the best cards in UFC history. Was that the greatest night of your life?
Yes, of course. The biggest fight of my life, and the biggest names, my biggest opponent's name too. So Johnny Hendricks, I'm very glad to Johnny Hendricks for this opportunity, because he's accepted the fight in the same time when he listed my name, and he come to fight. So I'm very grateful to Johnny Hendricks for this opportunity, because he's a former champion.
Yeah.
He's not qualquer fala.
He's not just anybody.
Yes. So he's a very, very big famous.
Do you feel like your life has changed since Saturday? Do you feel a difference in the way? I think, I was watching football on Sunday, and Tony Romo, who's a very famous football player and announcer, he even called a player on one of the teams the Eraser. Yeah, and so I was listening to this, and maybe he was watching the fight on Saturday. Like, this thing is catching on.
Yes.
I feel like people now, it's different from the last fight in Brazil. It feels like doing it in New York on this card. Do you feel that as well?
I feel this. The things happen very more fast here in America, of my country. Tá certo?
Sim, faster.
Yes, faster. So my name now is in the top 15 ranking. So after this fight, so I think this is a great opportunity. Is change my position, right in the UFC.
I want to go back to the beginning, and correct me if I'm wrong. I read that when you were young, around like 15, you used to get into a lot of fights. You were kind of like a shy kid, and that's why you got into martial arts, because you wanted to defend yourself. Is that accurate? Is that true?
Quando você era criança, você era tímido, a pessoa estava bullying você,
Yes.
por isso você começou.
It's true. It's true. In my school in Brazil, we have many bully guys.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm start training to learn how defense of these guys, and I started training Muay Thai at 9 years.
Oh, 9 years.
9.
Wow.
And at 12, I started training Jiu-Jitsu too.
Why were they picking on you? Why were there, bullies bothering you?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he don't like me. I don't know why.
Do you think these people now know what you're doing?
Você que acha que esses mesmos bullies sabem o que você está fazendo agora?
Yes, I think they know. I keep relationship with
really?
with one or two guys, and now they are very nice guys.
They love you now. They love you. These
Yeah.
guys. Yes, that's right. They're not going to mess with
Yes,
you.
no.
Were you a small kid? I mean, now you're just like a physical specimen, but
Yes, when quando eu era criança eu era pequeno.
When I was a kid, I was small.
Okay.
Yes.
Your father and your brother played football, right? Your
Yes.
Your father was amateur. Your
Yes.
brother was professional.
Yes.
Why didn't you go down that route? Why didn't you become a football player?
Oh, I don't know why, but I try play football, but I have many very skills to fight to play football.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I think it's like this. Eu acho que é isso. Eu tenho mais habilidade para treinar jiu-jitsu e treinar artes marciais do que lutar.
Yeah, he had more skills to do jiu-jitsu and start MMA than to play soccer or football.
Were your parents in favor of you going into fighting? Did they want to see you do that, or did they try to get you to do like more traditional sports like football?
In the beginning,
Yeah.
when I started, he don't approve.
No.
No, but after my great results in Brazil, I'm former champion of 2 big events in Brazil, and my mom in special, he say, okay, if you want to make this, go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they gave you the okay.
Yes, okay.
The approval.
Yeah, now she's approved.
Why did you decide to become an actual pro MMA fighter? Like, it's one thing to train Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, but to do this as your career, because you used to do real estate, right?
Yeah.
The real estate?
Yeah.
And
Você antes vendeu casas
Yes,
porque você queria
yes.
tornar.
you liked it, from what I understand. You like being a real estate agent, right?
Yes, but this is my job to
apoiar sua
apoiar.
carreira.
Yes.
It was his job to support his career.
Support my career,
Oh,
support
okay.
my trains, because my family is not a rich family, you know.
Okay.
So I need working hard to pay my supplements, to pay my training. So I make this job to support my training.
Now you have money, right? You got a bonus. You're fighting. Do you
Yes.
feel a lot more
Yes.
comfortable? What is it like to have this money now?
Yes. O que eu vou fazer com o dinheiro agora? É isso?
Ou como você está sentindo? Você ganhou muito dinheiro, performance bonus.
Yes.
Não dinheiro.
It's
Você não
very,
está pobre.
yes, it's very important, because now I have calm. I have time to training, to focus in my career.
Yeah.
I don't need more teacher aulas.
Give lessons, personal
Yeah.
training.
Okay.
I don't need more, and I can focus all my time, my full time in my career is very important for me, and but I not like expense so much. Is I like vestir uma boa roupa e comprar bom carro e comprar uma boa casa, mas nada mais que isso.
I like to wear nice clothes, buy a nice car, buy a nice house, not too much more than that.
Right. Simple things. You know, MMA fans may not know this, or UFC fans right now, but you were on Tough Brazil 3 with Vanderlei and Chael, but then you didn't go into the UFC right after the show.
Yes.
So first, what was that experience like being in the house with the cameras and all the drama with Chael and Bando? Did you enjoy that? Because it seems to me like it's a miserable experience.
Yes.
Did you enjoy being a part of that?
I don't enjoy a lot.
No.
No, no, because I'm stayed there for 40 days and
40
days.
Wow, jeez.
And don't have a cell phone, don't have nothing, don't have TV, don't have internet. So stay in the house with 16 guys. I don't see there before, so day before, and it's not a good experience for me. But like personal is I'm grow up. Like you know, como pessoa é bom, mas
He grew as a person. It was good for that.
yes, because
Matured.
Right.
Você tem que, yes.
Do you think that's why you didn't do well on the show? Because you didn't enjoy it? Because you weren't happy? Because you're undefeated as a professional, but on the show you lost.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's why? Because you just weren't in a good place?
Yes. This is a big problem because I need make weigh-in all week, every week.
Yeah.
So I have a problem because I'm a very muscle guy, and my weight is like 210. So in the show I need make weigh-in every week 185.
Wow.
So it's a big problem.
Wow.
And I feel very weak, you know, very tired to fight, and I think this is foi meu maior problema lá dentro. Isso.
That was the problem with me being in there, was the constant fatigue from having to make weight
Yeah.
every
It's-
week.
Right. It drains. Often when there's like a young superstar or someone that they think could be very good, they'll sign him and he'll go into the UFC even though he didn't do well on the show. Were you surprised? Were you disappointed? Were you upset that you didn't get into the UFC right away? That after the show they said, okay, thanks, but no thanks, and you had to go fight elsewhere?
Yes. Eu fiquei muito triste depois que o show não me chamou, que o UFC não me chamou depois do show. Mas eu continuei treinando, continuei fazendo minhas coisas e fui galgando meu espaço e conquistando os títulos nacionais.
Yeah, I was very sad that the UFC didn't call me after, but I looked forward. I kept the path. I kept training and conquering more Brazilian titles.
Yeah, and you did that, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, you were actually called when Anderson Silva was about to fight Uriah Hall, and they said, you want to fight, because Silva had the gallbladder problem,
Yes.
and you thought that you were finally going to make your debut on like 5 days' notice, but then after one day, Uriah Hall said no, right?
Yes.
So you were that close.
Correct.
You were willing to do it. You were willing to fight on
Yes.
5 days' notice,
Yes.
and then he said no. That has to be devastating too, right? That has to be very upsetting.
No, not because this moment.
Yeah.
I'm in preparation for my fight in Jungle Fight.
Okay.
Fight for the belt 1 week after this fight.
Okay, so you were ready?
Yes, I keep focusing in my fight, but it's of course I like to fight against Ariel Helwani in UFC, but in the same time I keep my focus in my fight one week after, you know.
But you're so close to
Yeah,
making
so
it finally. That wasn't frustrating?
Yes, a little, but eu sabia. Como é que fala? Pode falar.
I knew.
I knew. In the short time, my time will become.
Okay.
You know?
You knew that they were looking at you, that you were on their radar, so that was some kind of
Yes,
consolation,
yes,
right? Exactly.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And then you get to fight, but you get to fight again in Brazil, somewhat short notice. Was it short notice, the first fight in the UFC? It was somewhat short notice, right? Against Gareth McClellan?
Sua primeira luta
Yes,
foi com...
yes.
That went well. Of course, the second fight
Yes.
went well. When did you learn how to speak English like this? I feel like the last time we saw you, like in June, you didn't speak any English.
Yeah.
Is that to him?
Quando você começou aprendendo inglês assim,
Yes.
última luta, você não estava
Yeah.
no mesmo...
Yes, I come here to America to train for 4 times. So this is upgrade my English.
Yeah.
But I study English in Brazil because I know the importance of speaking English here. And I will study more to speak more in the next time here, but it's very important. But I'm very dedicated and focused in my goals. And this is my next goal: speak English with fluency.
Let's talk about the name for a second here, because it's fascinating. Because your brother was the big rubber, you're the little rubber, right?
Yeah.
Borrachinha.
Yes.
But then at some point you decided, okay, for the American fans, it's a hard name to pronounce.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with my real name, Paulo Costa, the Eraser.
Yes.
This man showed you the movie, right? With Arnold Schwarzenegger. You sat there and watched, and you're like, okay, I'm in. This is my name. He's a mad scientist.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel comfortable with that, though? Because Borrachinha is your name.
Yes, but Borrachinha is very Brazilian name.
Okay.
Very special for our Brazilian, because some words, some Brazilian words is very difficult to translate for English.
Sure.
You know, you say every words in Brazil with finish with inha is like a vowel.
Yeah.
But English is I think is very hard to understand. But the razor have a same parecido.
Same meaning.
Yeah, same meaning, because erase, right?
Eliminate.
So, yes, eliminate. In borrachinha, or borracha in Brazil, in Portuguese, is have the same meaning, like erase.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You can use to flexibility. Or erase. It's the same.
It's amazing. I think it's a brilliant. Here in New York, Madison Avenue, they brand things. I think it was great for you to have this coming out party with the new name. Eric, let me ask you.
Yes.
You've trained Lyoto Machida recently, the Pitbull brothers, Big Nog, Little Nog. You've trained Henry Cejudo. You're with him right now. He's getting ready for. You saw him on The Ultimate Fighter, Brazil, but you only started working with him for this camp. And you're a wrestling coach. I mean, that's your base. So for Hendricks, it makes a lot of sense. Why are you so high on this man?
Wow. I knew once he got into UFC that he'd be fighting a wrestler, so I sent him a message, and he wrote me back when he finally got Jenny Hendricks. He came out to Arizona. I invited him. I said, come on out to Arizona. We'll get you ready. And I was so big because one of the first days I showed him a move, and he started drilling it in front of me, and he was going to the wrong leg. It was a defensive move. I said, no, you can't do it this way. You got to do it this way. He's like, are you sure? Because I do it this way. And I'm like, listen, I'm the coach. I'm telling you, I got Olympic champions on the team. Listen to me. So he goes out there, wrestles one of these ASU Sun Devil wrestlers, and he takes him down the way he wanted to do it with the wrong leg. And then after he did it, he goes, sorry, I did it wrong. But he got the take.
But it worked.
At me, I'm like, is he messing with me? It's like I told you so, but in a nice way. It was funny. Then he did it again on another move. Henry was showing a move to a high-level wrestler and goes, Eric, show me this move. I said, no, that's a black belt move. We got to crawl before we can walk. That's too high level for you. Next day, he goes out and hits this chest like that two-time Olympic gold medalist showed us. Sergey Beloglazov showed me and Henry. Henry was showing somebody he wanted to do it. I was like, no, you got to crawl first.
Yeah.
He goes out and practice and hits it on somebody 3 times against a high-level wrestler. I'm just thinking to myself, like, this kid's special.
He's a phenom.
He's a phenom. And that's why I'm so high on him, because in one or two practices, this guy was taking people down. And I was like, wow, this kid's going to go far. So I've trained those guys, and I can tell.
Yeah, you've been in there with them. Speaking of the phenom, Vitor Belfort, you've trained with Vitor in the past, and you wanted to fight him.
Yes, because...
But he's not happy about this.
Yeah.
What happened?
Because I trained with Vitor for 2 times.
Yeah.
He called me, but I'm not his friend.
You're not his friend?
You're not his friend.
No.
And he's not my friend too.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
So, and I am professional. UFC call me. The mic call me. Come from, not for me, for Valide, Ismail, my agent.
Yeah.
And he say, okay, we have a new fight for Paulo here, against Vitor Belfort. And what you think about? And Valide call me and say that for me. And I say, oh, of course, let's go. Let's go now. What time? When is this fight? And Valigi call again to me and say, okay, let's do it. And Vito say no, because he's he come now. I don't know why, because why Vito don't like this fight, but
Too much to lose. He's too young.
Oh, of course, I can understand why. The same way I thought it was a mistake for Johnny Hendricks to fight you. I was surprised that Johnny Hendricks said yes to you. It's a great fight for you because he's a name. It's a great fight for the UFC, but for him, I think it's crazy. He should be fighting older guys because he's a little bit older.
because he don't feel fear to fight.
Right, that's true. But so you think that Vitor was afraid to fight you?
I think so.
Wow. And do you think that he felt betrayed that you would say yes? You trained with him. I brought you in to train with me. How could you say yes? Do you feel that at all?
Você tá sentindo que ele tá sentindo que você traiu ele? Ele levou você para treinar com ele?
No, because he.
Eu fiz o mesmo com Anderson.
Yes, he make it the same with Anderson Silva, but Vito call me and pay me, and when his fight, he call me when he will fight, quando ele ia lutar contra o Chris Weidman.
He called me when he was gonna fight Chris Weidman.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the fight is done.
Yeah.
Chris Weidman injured his ribs, and he don't say with me again. He go for house and
That's it.
and let me there. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Where, in Florida or in
Florida.
Really?
And don't talk with me more, and like it's not good.
Okay.
Not good guy for me.
So you still want to fight him, or you move past him at this point? I know, and we'll get to Derek Brunson in a second. But do you care about Vitor at this point, or are you finished with Vitor?
Yeah, I not have. Apesar disso tudo, pode falar.
Okay.
Apesar disso, mesmo com ele fazendo isso, eu não tenho raiva dele e não.
I don't hold a grudge against him, even though he did that to me.
Okay.
I'm not angry with him.
Okay.
Você ainda quer lutar ele?
No, I like to fight against the top 10.
Yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense. Do you feel uncomfortable when people talk about your looks?
Yes.
You feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
You don't like it.
No, I like.
Oh, you
Yes,
like.
I
You
feel
like.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable.
Have you done modeling and things like that?
Você já era modelo?
No,
Never.
never.
That's shocking.
Essa camiseta que você tá.
Yes.
No,
I like.
Instagram. Eu vi você.
Yeah,
modelando.
no, yes. I make some pictures.
Photo, yeah.
Yes, some photos.
Yeah.
To a grief in Brazil,
Okay.
but just one job. It's not my.
You can make a lot of money doing this. You know that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can feel about.
Yeah. I feel like.
think about
but
it.
I'm sure, like all day, and I know you have a girlfriend, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, but I'm sure there's people that come up to you all the time. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
No.
It's good to be loved.
Yes,
good to be
I understand like fans. So
Yeah. They love
just
you.
the fans. Yeah.
I was told this great story. I hope you don't mind if I bring it up. You I think Eric was with you too. You guys were at Costco,
Yeah.
which is a big grocery store. You thought you were at
Yeah, that's
Walmart.
Walmart.
You
Yeah.
thought you were at Walmart.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys are
true.
you're going around and you have a massive. Tell us the story, Eric. You were there, right?
Yeah, I really did. Well, they're right next to each other, Walmart and Costco.
Yeah.
We were in Costco. I hadn't been home for a while, so I didn't notice the difference. But 2 carts, an hour of shopping, food for this guy's a lot. So we had a lot of food for his camp. As I'm going to the cashier, I'm like, man, when did Walmart become bulk? And it's like, wait a minute, we're at Costco and you need a membership. They're not going to let us buy it. We're going to have to leave, and all this stuff was for naught. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute. Make sure you go to a female cashier
Yes.
and just use your accent. Tell her you thought it was Walmart, because tell the truth.
Yeah.
And see what happens. So then I said, I'll be off to the side watching, because I don't want her to see me.
Yeah.
So by the time he's getting through, by the way, this lady has white hair.
Okay.
White hair.
Older.
She's a little bit old. White hair.
yeah.
Not
She
so
had
old,
white
not
hair.
so old.
She had white hair.
Not very
By the
old.
end, she lets him pass, and she put
It's
her
like a
number on
40.
the receipt
Wow.
for him to call.
Put her phone number for you?
On the
Yeah,
receipt.
yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. She
Still.
had no problem that you weren't a member.
No.
She said, please.
I think we could have went back there and they
Oh my God,
got
for
it
free?
for free next time.
Wow.
But she's not very old. She's like a 40.
Oh, okay. What you call her? You call her?
No,
I thought
you
she
didn't call
was.
her. No,
I
don't
thought
call
she was The hair was white.
Nice lady? Nice lady?
She was.
Yes. Does that happen a lot? Do you get a lot of phone numbers? People give you phone numbers?
No, it's not every time.
Okay.
It's like sometimes.
Good. I mean, it's good to be you. But you have a girlfriend. I want to make that very clear. You're very happy.
No problem.
Yes, 5 years, right?
5 years.
Wow.
She understands. She understands.
Yes, of course.
Very, very comprehensive.
Very beautiful woman as well. You're
Beautiful.
both very lucky
Yeah, thank
to
you.
have each other. So after the fight, you say Derek Brunson, right? And then he says, and he's continuing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, look how many tests. Oh, he only does one. But you've been tested 10 times this year, right?
Yes, I'm tested. I think 15 times after I'm come to UFC.
Yeah.
The last month, just last month, 4 times.
Wow.
So when you don't have anything else to say, you make up excuse.
Yeah.
This is what Derek Bronson say now.
Does it bother you to be accused of this? I mean, we were just talking to GSP about it when someone says you're on steroids.
Yeah.
You feel insulted? Does it bother you inside?
Você tá insultado?
Yes, of course, because I'm fight clean.
He's trying to take something from you. He's trying to discredit what you've done, right?
Ela tá tentando destruir sua reputação.
Yes, but it's crazy because Usada is here for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is testing, so Derek Bronson talk a lot of shit about me, but he don't because he have a fear. He's scared.
Yeah.
He don't want to fight against me. But so he create excuse. You not fight clean, but he's crazy because I have my test in Usada and I call for UFC Brazil to help me to send me all my tests to put in my social media.
Okay.
Yes, because I have more of 15 tests.
Wow. So you want to prove that? So do you feel like this is going to be a problem for you as you continue to go up? That guys are going to say no, it's going to be hard to get fights.
Yes, I think no. I think eu acho que as pessoas não vão dar ideia porque não vão dar importância para o que ele está dizendo, esse monte de besteira.
Yeah, they don't care what he's saying. I think they're still gonna accuse him, but
Okay.
Yes.
Eles sempre vai ficar acusando.
Yes.
What about, I mean, Derek Brunson, is it because he just beat Lyoto Machida? Is there another reason why? Like, why did you pick him of all the middleweights?
Yes, because he's number 7.
Okay.
And I think he's a wrestler too. But his wrestling is not so good like Johnny Hendricks.
Right.
And he like Derek Bronson like fight in stand up, and I'm too. So I'm not have a question. I can erase him too.
Fala recado pra ele.
Yes, I can, Derek Bronson. I can erase you, but I will not erase you completely because I will make you famous.
Wow.
In my score.
Wow.
My score of knockouts. My record of knockouts.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. So do you, like, have you heard anything from the UFC? Do they want to make this fight? Since Saturday, you came out and said Derek Brunson. Yeah. Usually they like it when a fighter comes out and says, oh, I want to fight this guy next. Have they said anything to you or your management?
No, not my manager. In the same week of my fight, me and Eric and my coach talk about this. Who can be the next after my fight against Johnny? If I won Johnny, and when I finish my fight, I say his name because he's a good name for me.
So he is hot. Yeah, I mean, he's a great man.
Yeah, he's hot.
But do you think that they're actually going to give you him? Do you think
Você
that
acha que você vai lutar ele mesmo? Ou você vai dar ele como adversário?
Yes, I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
To fight against Derek Bronson, against top 10 fights, but I'd like to fight against him.
Yeah. When do you want to return?
Yes, I'd like to return. This one more point good for fight against Derek Bronson because he fights 1 week before me.
Yeah.
So we have a time to collide.
Yeah.
So I think in March. March is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're coming to Belém right? Belém in
Yeah,
Brazil
UFC Belém
in
February.
February. Too
Yes.
early? You don't want to fight in Brazil?
I think it's too early. Yeah.
Would you prefer now to fight in the U.S.?
Yes, now
Okay.
I prefer. I like so much fighting Brazil because the fans in Brazil is very hot and he push our Brazilian fights. But I think fighting America is special because we can show our working for more people.
Do you feel like you called yourself the next Brazilian legend? Do you feel like Brazilian MMA is a bit down right now, that you have to bring it up, that you're going to be the guy?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I feel this.
You feel it?
We need a new hero in Brazil because we have many legends of the last generation, but now we need to renew this. And I think I am the biggest name to puxar essa fila.
I'm the biggest name to carry the torch.
Right, right. Of the great Brazilian legends,
Yes.
Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort,
Yes.
Jose Aldo, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, which do you think is the greatest of all time? Who do you want to surpass?
Yes.
Right now, you haven't.
Brazilians?
Yes, Brazilians. Who, in your opinion, is the
Brazilian
greatest?
In my opinion, Anderson Silva is
Number one.
the number one.
Okay.
He's like a Pelé on football.
Yeah.
He's the biggest name of all time. But McGregor come.
You love McGregor, right?
Yes, I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, McGregor, because he makes history.
Sure.
He's unbelievable. He's awesome.
Confident.
Confidence.
Yeah.
And he speak what he think, and he's true. He's not a fake.
Right. Have you ever met him?
Huh?
You ever meet Connor?
No, never.
Never met him.
Never, but I try.
Have you ever met Anderson?
Never, true.
Never.
Never.
Interesting.
Never.
Would you ever fight Anderson?
Without Anderson.
It's a great honor for me. It's a great honor because it's my legend.
Okay, so you would. No problem.
No problem. It's good for me.
Right.
It's my idol. So I think it's amazing. But I don't know because he's a superstar, and maybe he want
Older
make
guys.
make a super fights.
How long before you think that you're in the title discussion? Because right now we have obviously GSP, Robert Whitaker, Luke Rockhold, Jacare,
Yes.
right? Chris Weidman. So there's a lot of guys at the top there who want. How long do you think you're in that discussion with these guys?
I think now my name is in top 15.
15? Yeah, what are you
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
What number?
15.
15, okay.
I think.
Parabéns.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Obrigado. I think one more fight to go to top 10.
Okay.
And one more fight to go to top 5.
Okay.
And top 5, I can go to title shot.
So like 2 more fights.
Yes,
more.
two or 3 fights.
When do you go back home to Brazil?
Yeah, I go next Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
Where do you live now? Belo Horizonte?
Belo Horizonte.
Okay. And so when you go back, what do you think it's going to be like? Like, do you think that it's going to be a big celebration for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big celebration. Go to the inside of country, you know.
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
to relax,
Yeah.
to clean my mind, and recover my energy to the next challenge.
You're going to go on vacation or something?
Yes.
Where are you going to go?
To inside of country.
Oh, okay.
Countryside is going.
Yeah, not outside of Brazil. You want to stay
Not
home.
outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
stay home.
And be with your family as well.
Yes, my family is inside of country.
Oh, okay. You don't live with them?
No,
No. Did you think that all this would happen to you like you're 26, right?
26.
Did you think that this would be happening this early in your career, this young? Like, did you dream of this, or is it happening a little sooner now?
Yes, tudo está acontecendo muito rápido. Everything's happening
fast.
Yeah.
fast. But when I make my first fight in UFC in debut, and I gain my bonus,
Yeah.
I start believe I can.
Okay.
But it's my dream is stay here with you.
This is your dream, to be on my show. This is the dream.
It's true.
My dream too.
Yes. Stay here and put my name in the ranking.
Yeah.
I arrive my dream, and I'm very happy.
But we've seen this story before. I remember there was a guy named Eric Silva good-looking guy. Everyone was talking about him, knocking people out.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, it didn't work out. So
Yes.
you look at those stories and make sure that you're focused, that you're not going to get distracted, that you're going to keep getting better. Surround yourself with
of
people like
course.
Eric,
Yes, this is very important.
That's the dream, yeah.
This is very important.
Yeah.
So help me about with the great peoples, the nice peoples. Keep my head in the place. Keep my focus, and train hard. Train more hard for the next fight, because the next fight is ever the fight of the life.
Right.
I think this, and let's go. Vamos ver o que vai vir pra frente.
Let's go for it. Let's see what's going to happen in the future.
UFC is going to Las Vegas first week of March for a pay-per-view. I feel like that's the perfect place for you, right?
Nice.
Las Vegas. Have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Never.
I feel like that's a great spot for you.
Yes.
For the next fight. Do you agree, Eric?
So much.
I love Las Vegas.
Yes.
Always.
But it will be a nice unveiling for him, right? A big card.
Nice.
Yeah? You like that?
I like that.
Yeah.
so
I
much.
feel like this time next year, we're going to be talking about you in the title picture. This time next year.
Neste momento, ano que vem, tipo novembro 2018, todo mundo vai falar de você sobre lutar no título.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Sounds good. Very good.
That sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I wish you the best. Thank you. Obrigado. Thank you so much. Paulo. You're the man.
Obrigado for the opportunity.
You are the man, Eric. Thank you
It's
so
an
much for
honor for me.
coming in. You're the man as well. I wish you guys the
Shalom.
best. Shalom, my friends. You did such a great job last Saturday. I'm in awe of you. Really, you're doing so many great things. You're performing so well. You're a great ambassador for the sport. I hope you get that fight against Derek Brunson, and the accusations can stop, and you guys can fight and prove who's the better man. Thank you for coming in, and
you
safe
for
travels.
opportunity.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Appreciate
Safe
it.
travels back home. Joe over here is going to walk you guys out. Eric, thank you as well. Thank you for coming. You just want to stick around. You're having the time of your life. This is great. Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you.
All the best to you
Yeah,
and your family. And what a star. Wow. Yes. Do you want to say something? Take care.
How'd you like that? I'll make you famous.
Yes. It was great. This guy's like the mad scientist. Thank you so much, guys. There he goes. Paulo Costa. Borrachinha. Unbelievable. What a guy. A future superstar. A future superstar. And really, I mean, what more can you say about that man? Wow. Just gaze into his eyes, right? In a moment, we appreciate him stopping by, of course. We appreciate Eric stopping by. Appreciate, of course, GSP stopping by. What a great day it has been. Wow, this has been a lot of fun. I could do this every day, right? Could I do this every day? Would they let me come in here every day? They probably wouldn't. It'd probably be a nightmare for them. But it's been fun. It kind of feels like a Monday, but it's not. It's a Thursday. And you know what we usually do on Thursdays? We usually do the MMA beat. And I know that a lot of you are used to having the MMA beat on Thursday. You like having the MMA beat. I like doing the MMA beat on Thursday, and so much has happened. So because we did this special edition with GSP, with the future, Paulo Costa, we still wanted to give you an MMA beat. It's going to be a mini version of the beat. We've got two beatniks here, two panelists. We've got Jeff Wagenheim of the Washington Post. We've got Danny Segura, of course, the Colombiano himself of MMAfighting.com. In a matter of moments, they're going to be joining us in studio to talk about the week that was, the news of this past week, look ahead to Norfolk. What a great card that is. We talked about that a lot on Monday. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transition over to our exclusive Twitter feed. That's MMAfighting.twitter.com, MMAfighting.twitter.com. That's where we'll be doing the MMA After Hour. And we'll be talking to Jeff and Danny about the news of the past week. Like I said, 217, Norfolk. We'll talk about Dominic Cruz being out of 219. Of course, Frankie Edgar out of 218 against Max Holloway. Yesterday was a bad day. A lot of bad news yesterday. But it has been a very newsworthy week, so we wanted to do that. So again, it's MMAfighting.twitter.com, MMAfighting.twitter.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on MMAfighting.com, Facebook, take a break from those. Go exclusively on Twitter. I tweeted out the link earlier. Again, it's MMAfighting.twitter.com. That's where we'll be doing the MMA After Hour. Really, it's the MMA Beat. It's a mini version of the MMA Beat. It starts in a matter of moments. Right after this, it's called the MMA After Hour. We'll be joined by Jeff Wagenheim and Danny Segura. Stand by. We're coming up right after this.